Well, hey, you guys. So the beauty of a new year is that it's built on a fresh start, right? I mean, everyone feels like they have a clean slate. You're able to start something new. But it's also another reminder that those student loans or any other debt for that matter is still sitting there. And, you have to pay interest on it. And it's like, oh, that's not fun, right? You kind of feel that weight of the minimum payments. Well, if you feel that and you're like, I need something to change, you came to the right place, because we're going to talk about how to pay off debt in the fastest way possible in 2025. And stick around, because later I'll be sharing the one kind of debt that some people don't even know they can get rid of. And if you haven't subscribed yet to the channel, make sure you do that so you don't miss a future episode. All right, so when it comes to paying off debt, there is a lot of debt out there that I want you to pay off in order to build wealth. And this is everything from student loans, car loans, credit card debt, personal loans, HELOCs. I mean, there's so much out there. So when you look at paying off consumer debt, this means everything but your house. So when you get all of that consumer debt, I want you to write it all out to know, okay, exactly how much you owe in each category. Next, let's talk about debt payoff and when that begins. So when you start paying off debt, you first want to make sure that you have an emergency fund in place. And so being able to have $1,000 saved is going to be your first goal before paying off debt, because you need some money in the bank if something comes up, because it will, to be able to cash flow those emergencies. Now, those are going to be smaller emergencies because it's only $1,000. So if it's something bigger that you're gonna have to pay, then usually those type of bills will take 2 to 3 months that you have to, pay those eventually. So that means you can get a side hustle and figure out how to cash flow those while you pause paying off debt. But again, your first goal is that $1,000 emergency fund, and this is really your safety net between you and life. Once that is complete, then you're gonna start paying off that debt. Okay, so now it's time to talk about what it looks like to attack that consumer debt fast and get it out of your life for good. But first, let's talk about one of our sponsors, Christian Healthcare Ministries. So just about everything costs more these days. So if you're looking at your healthcare options during open enrollment, check out Christian Healthcare Ministries. CHM is not health insurance. It's a biblically based health cost sharing ministry that's helped hundreds of thousands of families like yours with healthcare costs without sacrificing freedom. And you can join CHM at any time, like now. So learn more at chministries.org/budget. That's chministries.org/budget. So when I talked about baby step 2 is that you're going to pay off your debt smallest amount to largest amount regardless of the interest rate. And you're going to do this method. It's called the debt snowball method. And this is the fastest way to pay off debt, because what you'll realize is that debt is more of a behavior issue. It's not a math issue. And so there's something about changing your behavior where you know that you actually can get out of debt. That behavior, when you get a quick win, suddenly shifts in the positive to know, oh my gosh, I can do this. Like, I can change how I'm handling my money. I can get out of debt. So even if it's an $800 credit card bill, that's your smallest debt, and you pay it off and you cut it up, you get rid of it, close the account, and it's like, okay, well, that's done. Now I can move that minimum payment over to the second smallest debt. And again, you get a side hustle, you decrease your lifestyle, you do whatever you can to throw extra money at that one, pay it off, and you realize, okay, just paid that one off. Now you can roll the minimum payment that was on the credit card and the second smallest debt now to the third smallest debt. So what happens, it starts compounding from a minimum payment standpoint, which is great mathematically, but more importantly, you are getting quick wins, and that is going to help you in this process. So that is the debt snowball versus the debt avalanche, where people actually want to pay off the highest interest rate first, because mathematically, that is correct, right? You want to get rid of the highest interest rate first. But the problem is that highest interest rate, could be a $20,000 debt where you have all these other little ankle biter debts that are not as much an interest, but you got this big one and you're trying to chase the math, where you realize it can feel like, oh my God, I'm like going up this mountain and I feel like I'm not getting traction. So changing your behavior is so key when it comes to personal finance. That's why that debt snowball method is so crucial. And you think about it too, snowballs, like, they're more fun than avalanches, right? Avalanche, scary, bad. Snowballs, fun, exciting, right? So always remember the debt snowball method is more effective. But the reality is that a lot of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. And so finding margin to pay off debt is really crucial. So here are 6 ways to find margin. Number 1, cut unnecessary expenses. When I mentioned lowering your lifestyle, for real, lower your lifestyle. Cut anything that you don't need. And this is subscriptions, going out to eat, even your grocery budget for the month. See if you can shrink it down by $50 to $100 and throw extra at your debt. Like, do whatever you can to cut your expenses, and do a budget if you've not done a budget yet, so you'll know specifically where your money's going and how to control it. Number 2 is to increase your income. So this can be from the job you have. This could be working overtime. This could be getting a side hustle. But bringing in extra income is going to be a big part of this equation of paying your debt off faster. And I was just talking to a group of about 600 people, and the amount of side hustles that were out there and people that were making $8,000, $9,000, $1,000. I mean, it was everything from pet sitting to driving Uber or Lyft. This was piano teachers that are like, yeah, they did a side gig and, taught piano. I mean, it was everything you can imagine. And people were making hundreds of dollars a month. Like, it can be significant, and it's not fun. Right after your full-time job, you don't want to go work a side hustle or work on the weekends. But for a short period of time to bring in some income to get this debt paid off faster, totally worth it. Also, number 3 is to look around your house and sell your crap. We all have stuff that we don't need, from clothes to electronics, like stuff that is out there that you're like, oh my God, we don't need this. Furniture even. Sell it, get rid of it, and make some money. Again, we all have so much stuff, so get rid of it and make money off of it. Number 4 is to pause investing. So while you're getting out of debt, yes, pause investing. And that could be hundreds of dollars back in your paycheck every single month that can help to pay off debt. Because when you pay off debt and you have no money leaving in payments, that means you can actually then save up an emergency fund and then start investing 15% of your income into retirement. And that 15% is pretty high compared to what most people are investing from a percentage of their income. So you're able to catch up and do even more when you get to that point that you are debt-free. Number 5 is adjust your tax withholdings. So if you got a big tax refund, that means you are sending your money that could be in your paycheck to Washington. And then once a year, you get a big check back. And it's earned no interest. It's done nothing. It's been sitting there for free when it could have been used to pay off debt that much faster. So if you got a big tax refund, go to your HR department and adjust your withholdings. And then also number 6, use the money finder. So this is a great tool that kind of speeds a lot of this up in real time, and it gives you other areas of your life to look to see where you can get extra money. And we are finding that people are finding a lot, which is amazing, because getting that margin is such a key part of winning financially. So I will put a link in the description. Now, as promised, there's one kind of debt that most people think that you don't have to pay off quickly, but if you do, it will boost your net worth and free up your income like nothing else. And that is paying off your mortgage early. Yeah, a lot of people are like, what? But listen, we are finding that people that are doing the baby steps and paying off their mortgage, which is baby step 6 toward the end, they're doing this on average in 9 years. And if you are able to pay off your house and you have no mortgage payment, you're saving hundreds of thousands of dollars literally in interest. Like, it's amazing how much interest we pay when it comes to a mortgage. But then also the complete freedom and freeing up probably one of the largest line items in your budget of not having a mortgage payment. Like, it is an incredible thing. So this is on your journey of being debt-free. Yes, consumer debt is so huge, but also when you pay off your house down the line, it's even better. So I hope that all of this helped you guys motivate for the new year to become debt-free and have that freedom, not just financially, but also emotionally. And make sure to share this episode maybe with a friend who wants that freedom as well in 2025. And also avoid the 10 mistakes that can derail your debt payoff coming up next. All right, you guys, remember to take control of your money and create a life you love. We all know that social media affects our comparison tendencies, but until you know how and why, it's impossible to make meaningful change with your money. So today, I'm explaining 3 specific ways your algorithm is sabotaging your spending and 3 tips to stop falling for it. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share this episode with a friend. All right, so number 1, the algorithm knows your weaknesses better than you do. Yes. These are billion-dollar companies, you guys, and they are watching every little move we make. You stay on a post for a certain amount of seconds, that data is used to put those same things in front of you. And so you have to be very, very aware that every time you're clicking on something, swiping up on a link, whatever it is, they know. and they're watching. So it is crazy. Like if you start going down some random rabbit hole, those videos just keep popping up, right? And so they know what you're interested in. And then as you start looking and looking and looking at the same content, they're going to bring up more creators that are just like that person that you're spending 3.5 seconds on a post because you stood there a little bit longer and then you move on. So they know what you're interested in and they know you better than you think you do. Which brings me to number 2. The algorithm creates a false sense of FOMO. So because the algorithm knows what you're interested in, it's going to fill your feed with all of these posts, which is going to make you start to feel like everyone on earth is doing X, Y, and Z. Everyone is eating 1,000 pounds of protein a day or whatever the health thing is, right? Everyone is drinking this amount of water. Everyone is parenting like this. Everyone has this Stanley, this hair wrap, this, whatever the thing is. You're going to start to feel like everyone in the world thinks like you do or sees what you're seeing because you're constantly seeing it. And so when you put consumerism on top of that, then you're going to start to think, oh my gosh, this is what everyone is doing. But that's not reality. Not everyone is going to Europe. It's because you clicked on someone's European trip. Suddenly you're going to see a bunch of those. Or a fun like gadget. You click on the gadget, all of this. Some ad came up and I clicked on it, watched the whole 2-minute ad on mushroom coffee. Genuinely was like, wow, this is what all the healthy people are doing. Because then when I got out of it, there were all these other people drinking mushroom coffee. I thought, should I be drinking mushroom coffee? Is this it? Like, am I bloated? I might be, I don't know. Is this good for my health? I feel like it is. Everyone's drinking mushroom coffee. No, they're not. No, they're not. They're not all drinking mushroom coffee. But for a split second, you think everyone else is doing it and you're missing out. All right, number 3, the algorithm introduces you to things that you never knew existed, like mushroom coffee. Never would I ever have thought that existed. But I was looking into some health stuff. And sure enough, the algorithm started putting these ads in front of me of all this health stuff, which I'm sure it is healthy, but it's disgusting. I feel like I just can't do that. But the same is true with Stanley Cups, right? 5 years ago, no one thought about Stanley Cups. Only people who were actually legitimately out there doing utility things in life had Stanley Cups. But now it's like the trends of the girls to have the cute, fun color, right? But again, people didn't know that existed. And I can name off 1,000 different products like that. But it's going to start to feel like, oh my gosh, there's all this new stuff out there, whether it's vacuums or skincare or home design trends, kitchen gadgets, meals. I mean, it's all these things that you never knew was even out there. And suddenly your algorithm is placing it right in front of you, feeling like you need to buy it. All right, before I share the 3 solutions, I do want to tell you about one of our sponsors, Delete Me. If you don't remove your personal data from the internet, you're basically asking for your name, your email address, your kids' names to be out there on the internet like a billboard. And they're going to be on sketchy data broker websites. And those data brokers collect your data, sell it, and put you at risk for scams and fraud. But Delete Me removes your data to help protect you from phishing, harassment, and other online threats. You guys, your family's safety and financial security are way too important to leave exposed. So sign up for Delete Me and take control. Go to joindeleteme.com/Rachel for 20% off, bringing your monthly cost to under $9, or just click the link in the description. All right, something else that can turn out to be a scam if you're not careful is keeping your money in the wrong place. So let me tell you about Fairwinds Credit Union. If you want to be treated like a human and not just another account number, Fairwinds is where you belong. You work so hard and banks still find ways to nickel and dime you while they keep your hard-earned money. But Fairwinds is different because they're not a bank, they are a credit union, which means they're owned by their members, not Wall Street. They serve their members and earnings are returned to members in the form of lower fees, better rates, or dividends. So join a credit union that supports you as you work the Ramsey plan. Go to fairwinds.org/Ramsey today and check them out. All right, solution number 1 to all this algorithm mess is to always sleep on a purchase you want to make, okay? Remember that. Because if something comes up and unexpectedly you're like, oh my gosh, I need this. I need this thing. I want that. It's going to be exciting. Your adrenaline's going to be going. Dopamine's going to be hit. And you're like, sure, I'll do this. Just put it in the cart and walk away. I did this. I was coming up for a trip and I was like, ooh, I want a fun outfit for this certain occasion. The Backstreet Boys concert. And I was like, this is what I want. But I was like, you know what? I may not need this. I'm sure there's probably something in my closet, which I'm sure I did have but I put it in my cart and I just, for 2 days, just let it sit there. And I came back and I was like, you know what? I'm going to do half of it. So I ordered half the things in it. The other half was like, oh, I really don't need these. And it was great, right? It just ends up saving you money and you don't feel like you're in the moment where you're spontaneously spending money that you really don't need to spend. So let the emotion die down and come back to it. Number 2, ask yourself if you already have something similar already. Yes. A white tank top? It was in my cart for the Backstreet Boys concert. I was like, I don't need that. I have 2 or 3 already in my closet, Rachel. Move on. Delete that out of the cart. So there again, the newness of something is what's fun and exciting. And I understand that totally when you buy something new. But just be like, okay, do I have it already? Earrings, gold earrings. This is always my thing too. Hoops and stuff. It's like what I love to wear. And I'm like, Rachel, you have plenty. Why do you feel like you need to go buy another pack from Amazon? You don't. So just go take a beat, see if you have something similar, and just use what you have. Number 3, if worst comes to worst, cut it off at the source. Honestly, removing the temptation from your daily routine is probably one of the best things you can do. I mean, just delete Instagram for 2 weeks, right? Get off TikTok for 30 days. Get off Amazon. Delete the Amazon app from your phone for a month and just see what happens, because it is amazing if you don't have that source to go back to over and over again. There is a level of contentment and peace when you just don't know anything and everything that's out in the world. And the internet's not a bad thing by any means. It keeps us up to date, keeps us connected to people and things. I get it. But also, we probably were not built and created to be that connected to everything that's out there. So sometimes just taking a break is really healthy. Now, one app on my phone that I will not delete because I really do love it and I use it every single day and it helps me so much, it does not hurt me, is EveryDollar. EveryDollar is a great budgeting app, and it is something that is in my routine. When I open my phone, I check it, track transactions, and it keeps us on track. So when I want to go buy a new outfit for the Backstreet Boys concert, I can look to see my clothing line item. Be like, okay, how much is in there? What can I spend? And you can do it more free, more enjoyable than thinking like, oh gosh, do I need that? Do I not? It helps become one of those barriers that is down because you're like, okay, I know what I have. But to really understand why a good reset is necessary, you'll want to catch my episode, Why Less Really Is More, and Money, Faith, and Beyond. That is coming up right here. Or if you're listening on podcasts, click the link below. All right, you guys, remember to take control of your money and create a life you love. Don't you just love when you're scrolling social media and it actually educates you? It's an amazing thing. And that happened recently. I was scrolling through and I saw the stats that 70 to 75% of global luxury spending is actually driven by middle and lower income consumers. So if this is true, which is just wild, let's talk about why this is and how we can prevent that in 3 simple steps. Now, before we jump in, make sure to like, subscribe, and share this episode with a friend. So the idea has actually been a part of what we do here at Ramsey so often, where we talk about, hey, luxury items, the things that you see, do not indicate that you actually have wealth. It's kind of like the idea a guy pulls up next to you at a stoplight in like a really nice car and you're like, oh, wow, he must be doing really well. Well, no, he could just be making the payment and he can't afford the actual car and he has no money in his account versus someone else who's in like a 10-year-old Honda Civic, paid off, and they've got, hundreds of $1,000s in the bank. But the way our minds work when it comes to our culture is we actually see things like luxury as you are winning. And so one of the taglines actually for the Dave Ramsey Show for so many years was, this is the place where the paid off home mortgage has been replaced by the BMW as the status symbol of choice, meaning the paid off home mortgage is actually the status symbol that you want, not necessarily the BMW, but our world is the opposite. People want to look like they're successful, regardless or not whether they're actually doing well financially. So when there are labels out there, you guys, and you see like brands and people are kind of flaunting them and all of that, like it says something, right? And so this whole idea of quiet luxury versus like loud spending, if you will, and flaunting has really become a trend. And I kind of actually appreciate it because the truth is there are thousands of reasons why people might have nice things, right? You might see someone and you're like, oh yeah, maybe they saved up and paid for it. Maybe they used debt to buy it. Maybe it was a gift. Maybe they bought it at a secondhand, consignment online store. Maybe it was a family heirloom. Maybe their spouse makes a lot more money than maybe you realize, right? So like, the idea is we don't know what is going on out there. But when these labels scream out like, oh my gosh, success, 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 I want us to pump the brakes and remember, actually, stealth wealth is kind of the way to go. We're like, okay, I don't need all the labels and the things. And some people actually think designer labels are becoming a little tackier, where minimalist styles is actually kind of like this rich aesthetic. So who knows what's going to happen in the future, but I like this style and this trend of like, hey, we don't need all the flashy stuff going under the radar. It's actually a really good thing. So that's why I want us to keep in mind 3 things next time you're caught maybe in a judgmental spiral about someone's life choices, where you see something and you think either, oh my gosh, look how wealthy they are, look how great they are, or like, gosh, they must be so successful because it looks like it, because that's not always the case. So number 1, remember, you don't know anyone's story but your own. And so it's not our time to sit there and judge people's decisions, because the truth is maybe they saved up and paid for those things and that's what they like, and that's fine, right? Or maybe they use debt for it and they don't really have the money to pay for these things. But regardless, you want to be secure in your life choices, and remember to put the blinders on. Don't worry about everyone else. Focus on you and your life, because we don't really know what's going on in people's lives, and it's none of our business either way. So focusing on you, it's the best way to go. Number 2, what you have is not who you are. And this is so difficult again, because everyone wants to feel successful or look successful, look like they're doing well, all the things, but those outward appearances are not always the case. And what happens is those outward things can start to become who we are and what we believe our value is. So we just went to this nice hotel over a holiday weekend recently, and we were leaving, and I swear, like 10 people that passed us, I was like, wow, meaning like they look like very put together and designer, everything from shoes to belts to purses. I mean, the whole thing. Everyone, like, I had this moment, I'm like, oh my gosh, everybody like is doing really well, and we look homeless. Like, my kids are in like mixed matched outfits or whatever. They just dress themselves. We're heading to the airport. And I had this moment of like, Rachel, you're okay. Like you are fine. You are fine. You do not have to, number 1, keep up with these strangers. And even if they looked at us and judged us, okay. So what if they did? I don't even know where those people are right now, right? That you have a momentary passing. So the moment you start to feel insecure or like, oh my gosh, do we fit into where we are? Like, throw all that out the window, okay? So remember, who you are is so much more important than what you present. So the character part of life, you guys, is huge, where I feel like we spend so much time on the external that it really erodes who we really are. So focusing on you and your character is massive. So practicing contentment as well is going to help you so much. So finding gratitude and humility. So remember, what you have is not who you are. Now, there is one thing that anyone at any income level can do that is pretty much free of judgment. Now, before I tell you what that is, I do want to tell you about one of our sponsors, Delete Me. If you don't remove your personal data from the internet, it's basically like a billboard out there for everyone to see. Your name, your address, your email, even your kids' names that are out there on sketchy data broker websites. And these data brokers collect your data, sell it, and that puts you at risk for scams and fraud. But here's the good news. Delete Me removes your data and helps protect you from phishing, harassment, and other online threats. Winston and I use Delete Me, and it saves us so much time and worry. So you guys, your family's safety and financial security are way too important to leave exposed. So sign up for Delete Me and take control. Go to joindeleteme.com/Rachel for 20% off. Bring your monthly costs to under $9. Or you can click the link in the description. All right, the third thing to always remember when you are buying anything, whether it is quiet luxuries or maybe something at Walmart, is pay cash. Okay, paying cash and using your money for stuff is going to allow lower stress and keep you in check with your reality. Because I do think when you live a life of debt, it can kind of take you out of the reality of what is true for you in your actual money situation. But when you pay with your own money, it keeps you present. Now, if this feels kind of daunting and it feels like, oh my gosh, like this feels too much, I have been living with debt, or maybe I'm not used to living within my means, then I highly recommend Every Dollar. It's a budgeting app, and it's fantastic because it helps you look at all of your expenses in different categories and know where your money is going to make sure that your money and your income is going to the things that you actually value and want. So make sure to check that out. Now, if you have ever felt like once you've made a certain income, all your problems are going to disappear. Well, if that's you, make sure to check out this episode, Why Your Income Doesn't Guarantee Wealth. You can click right here to watch that. Or if you're listening on podcast, I'll put a link below. All right, you guys remember to take control of your money and create a life you love. Sometimes religion can feel like a taboo topic, but around 85% of the global population is religious in some way. So today I'm going to share 5 ways that my faith has influenced the way I handle money. All right, be sure to like, subscribe, and share this episode with a friend. All right, the first thing for me that faith does is it pulls me into a deeper way of life, and money can pull me the opposite at times, more of a shallower or surface level way of living. And so I do think faith overall, when you are in the belief that there is something bigger than you and something to worship beyond just what we see here of our stuff or ourselves or our accomplishments, there's something about it that creates a level of depth because you just end up being so small, right? Like there's like this like perception that yes, you are loved. I do believe you were created in the image of God. Like all of these things are so true. But yet when there is something so much bigger than you, it just allows you to see, golly, maybe I don't have all the answers. Maybe life is not all about me, right? There's something there that pulls you into a depth of living and examining yourself that I think is really healthy and very sobering. Where sometimes for me, money can do the opposite. It can like fulfill these like shallow wants and desires of myself and my flesh of like, oh yeah, the nice car, or the fun purse, or the new earrings, or like whatever the thing is, money can become that for me. And so what it does is it really helps balance it out. And then if anything, it gives me a lens at which to look at money, which can bring me to a shallow place and actually see how I can use it for good and something bigger than myself. And so for me, that is so, so key. The second thing that faith does is it forces me to reflect on my human money tendencies. And so as I've grown in my faith, I think, again, the more aware I am of these places in my life that money can expose. And so I think it's everything from jealousy to greed to discontentment. And there is a level that we make as a society that money can be an idol. It can be the thing that we are chasing the most, that our identity is in, that number becomes our self-worth and all of that. And when you start to practice and be aware and have some stillness around your faith in God, there's something about that exposing that you're like, oh my gosh, I never saw that was there. Because you kind of have something to compare it against. And there's something really beautiful there because I do think we all, I would hope, want to continue to grow in life and be aware of ourselves and the places that maybe we aren't as strong to say, yeah, I do need help in this area and help beyond what I can do for myself, right? Something even bigger. And having that self-awareness is so key. That's one reason I wrote the book, Know Yourself, Know Your Money, because there's something about that self-awareness that I think is so important. And this is for our strengths and weaknesses when it comes to money. But kind of having that mirror that faith gives you a healthy perspective. Number 3, contentment is the most powerful money principle that you can have. In 1 Timothy 6:6, it says, godliness with contentment is great gain. And you guys, contentment is a powerful money principle. When you are content, you are able to win with money because you're not continuing to chase something over and over and over and over again. There is a level of peace deep within your soul that you are good. And you can still have goals and, be striving for things and want to do great things. It's not that, but it's in this snapshot of a moment that you're okay, that you are good. You have peace. And that means when that peace is there, that you could pay off debt because you can sacrifice things in your life because there's a level of peace. You can save more because you probably have more margin because you're not just spending everything you make. Like there's so many tactical money principles that are wrapped up in contentment. But man, that is a powerful money principle. And then you pair that with godliness. And there's like this explosion because you pair these characteristics of God, which are so wonderful and beautiful, with contentment. And I think that creates a rich life. Maybe not with the number in your bank account, but deep in your soul, which I think is more important. All right, I'm curious to hear your thoughts on number 4 coming up next. But first, I do want to tell you about one of our amazing sponsors, Christian Healthcare Ministries. So you guys, more than 100 million Americans carry medical debt, which shows that traditional coverage often leaves people to face big bills alone. So families need more than coverage. They need community. And that is why I love Christian Healthcare Ministries. CHM is a budget-friendly, faith-based alternative to health insurance, and they've paid over $12 billion in medical bills. That is faith in action. Now, with CHM, there are no networks, no insurance headaches, and programs start at just $98 a month. Y'all, CHM is where your faith and your finances agree. So go to chministries.org/budget to learn more today. All right, number 4, when times are hard, God always provides, but it may not be how you expect. And so life is going to be hard. Okay, there are things that are going to come up in life that are hard. That is true for everyone. But in those moments, and I would say even to a degree of financial hardship, God provides. And it may not come as money, even though you hear the amazing stories, which I always love to hear, right? I think it gives everybody joy when you're like, someone's like, I needed $312, and it like shows up in their mailbox or something, right? That stuff happens 100%. But that may not always happen for everyone. But the thing that he will provide is peace, community around you if you're looking for it, maybe even places where you start to rebuild your marriage into a healthier place. Like there's all these elements of what his Spirit does when he guides and directs that may not be out of actual physical money, but it may be something so much deeper that will take you so much further than you'd ever imagine. And I really do believe he does that. I think he provides those things for everyone. And if we have the ability to stop and look, pray, ask, and receive, those things are out there. And it may not be in every season. Again, you can feel things deeper, I think, some seasons than others. All of it is true. But over the scope of your life, if you're a person of faith and you're walking that, or maybe even not, you can look back and see the way that he provided in all these different seasons. Number 5, generosity. So generosity can rewire your brain when it comes to money. And I will say that this is a spiritual practice because majority of all religions talk about generosity. I mean, honestly, there's like this baseline of being generous. And I love that so much because there's a message about caring for people that are in need. And that can look a million different ways, but there is something about serving, giving your time, your money, all of it that changes who you are. And if you are someone who is spiritual, you're getting a lot of those messages probably. And there is something about living that generous life, that selfless life that changes who you are. And it revolutionizes, honestly, the way that you can look at the world and people. And it's a really beautiful thing. All right, there's so much more than money than just a dollar amount. So be sure to check out my episode, 5 Powerful Ways to Redefine Wealth. It's not just money. You can click here, coming up next. Or if you're listening on podcast, I'll put a link below. All right, remember to take control of your money and create a life you love. Well, hey, you guys. So today, I'm so excited. We're pairing like 2 of my favorite things together. Jade, Warshaw, and food. That's right. So Jade, welcome back.
Thank you for having me again.
So what Jade is like, you are so brilliant on and so great at communicating it, is about the food budget,
yes,
which is an area of the budget that we all tend to bust. But you do so well showing people, hey, you can eat healthy. You can eat on a budget.
Yeah.
And you give recipes out.
Yeah, I do. You know, I love recipes. One of the things when my husband and I were getting out of debt is I started baking and selling the things that I baked. And so that's kind of where it started. And it's just gone from there. And
so great.
I love it.
Oh, okay. And we're entering fall.
Yes.
So y'all, there's like football tailgates. There's holiday parties. There's cold weather that's coming. I mean, all of it. And I think fall and like Christmas is probably my favorite time to cook.
Most wonderful time.
It is like, oh, it's just so warm and inviting. It's so great. So we're going to share with you guys a few of our favorite fall recipes. And you're going to love these because they're really easy. Again, we tried to make them budget friendly so that way you can, remake these over and over again. And we want you to give them a try, report back on what you like and what you don't like. So first up, Jade, this is your recipe. And it
yes.
looks and smells delicious.
Okay, so the truth is, this is actually an Ina Garten recipe.
Oh,
Barefoot
yes.
Contessa,
Oh,
yes. But I kind of streamlined it for my tastes, which I think is a good place to start. Like, if you're a person who wants to save money, find a recipe that looks good, and then you can tweak it and tailor it and make it your own.
Love it.
And so this is one of the ones that, when we were getting out of debt, I used to make and sell. So it's cinnamon crumb cake. And I love this one because it's usually, ingredients that you have on hand. Everybody has cinnamon, sugar, flour, that sort of thing, eggs. And then the secret ingredient, sour cream makes it moist. And I'm plant-based, so I do a plant-based plain yogurt. So that's one of the ways that I tweak it. And so, what do you think, Rachel?
Oh my gosh, it's so good. You know what? The crumble
With a cup of coffee?
Oh, stop. I mean, the crumble for real. I think crumble can be hard sometimes to make.
And I use this crumble for so many other recipes. Any muffin, put that crumble on there.
How long does it take?
You're probably in and out of the kitchen. You're mixing it up in probably 10 minutes. But, then it bakes for 40 minutes or whatever. And so the laborious part is I put everything in a bowl, mix it up, get it in the pan. And then you do something else while it bakes. Do laundry, clean up the kitchen, that sort of thing. So,
and this would last, I mean, honestly, with a family, well, my kids probably eat this all in one day.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I guess you can save it, right? Saran wrap all of it.
Yeah, keep it in the fridge. And one, I'm a freezer queen. So if there's something that I know my family's not going to finish.
Okay.
I'll take half of it.
Put it in the freezer.
Yeah, and what I like to do is I'll slice it like in individual slices and wrap them in foil. And then when you want, you pull it out of the freezer, let it sit on the counter for 5 minutes, and it's ready to go.
So great.
Yeah. $1 per serving, Rachel.
No way.
That's what this is, $1.01 per serving.
Unbelievable. Okay, up next, we're going to do one of my favorite fall recipes.
Okay.
This is an appetizer. And I brought it to a lot of different places. And it's usually a hit, but it is a honey whipped feta and olive dip. So that's coming up next.
That sounds delicious.
Okay, so this is one of my favorite dips.
It looks great.
And I got it from Half Baked Harvest.
Oh,
so,
yes.
a little shout out to her. And it is one, I've used it for probably 2 or 3 years now. Okay, so it is $2.61 a serving. So it's a little bit on the pricier side because I do think like feta and all of it,
Is that pricey? $2.61?
I don't know for an appetizer.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe
like
not.
that's pretty good.
Yeah, but yours was so cheap. I was like, oh man, I didn't go on that part. Okay, so it has some mixed olives. And the key here is you roast that because they're warm when they go on top of the feta, which is huge. Garlic, shallot, lemon, thyme, oregano, chili flakes, some cream cheese, all of it. The feta, obviously, that you whip together in a food processor. So it's really... I think it's one of those recipes, too, when you do it once, you're like, oh, yeah, I
know how to do it. Yeah.
And it's so quick. So it's a great, again, appetizer to serve at a holiday party. So,
this looks amazing.
Okay, I'm going to do this. I'm not going to move that knife.
This looks like chefery was involved.
I could live on appetizers, too, P.S. I could go to a restaurant and order like 8 dips and be good. 8, that's a lot. That's excessive. But
That's
4.
stupid good. That's so good.
What do you think?
It's
you
so
like
good.
it? And doesn't it feel kind of fall? Especially with the olives. Yeah, I gotta get an olive too.
I think the honey is what warms it all together.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's super easy. It's
Next
a fan
time you
favorite.
come to my house, bring that.
I will. So good. Okay. Next, Jade. What's your recipe?
All right. The next one coming up is, it's fall, football season, trick-or-treating. You want soup, okay? So this is a tortellini soup recipe. It's so good, so easy to make.
Oh, can't wait.
Pantry pull, freezer pull, you're in and you're out.
Can't wait.
Okay, so Rachel, this is the time of year for soup, and this one is so easy to make. This one is my recipe.
Oh my gosh, you made this up, Jade.
Yes.
See, you're so good. You're so talented.
You know what? I'm just trying to use what's in the refrigerator, okay?
So good.
We all have that bin of spinach that's in there that you need to use. It's about to go bad. So this soup, it's easy. It's the broth, it's the spinach. Everybody's got tortellini, or you could probably even use ravioli.
Oh, yeah.
And put it in
yeah.
here. And then everything else is seasonings, right? It's rosemary and parsley and red pepper flakes. Cannellini beans make it creamy.
Okay,
right?
okay.
And then after that, you could use a sausage of your choice, whether you like, plant-based version or you like the regular stuff.
Yep.
Put that in there. Parmesan cheese. Let's taste it.
Okay.
So good. My kids love this, Rachel.
I love a broth soup, too. Delicious.
Satisfying.
That is so good, Jade. And you puree some of this.
Yeah, so you start with the broth and you get it in there with all the seasonings, and then you add the white beans. And if you've ever used white beans before, they're very creamy. So at that point, that's where you puree everything. And then you go in and you add the things that you want to keep whole, the spinach, the tortellini, the sausage. And so you've got like this really great creamy base, but it's still got a lot of texture to it.
Oh my gosh. That is so great. So easy too.
Super easy.
Yes.
This is...
My kids would like that.
Yeah, my kids love it.
Okay, how much is it per serving, did you say?
Okay, per serving. This is a full meal now. You can serve with salad or bread, but it's $4
Okay.
per serving, which is pretty good. And that's if you use plant-based sausage. If it's $3.15 if you use regular, whatever you're used to.
Yes, so great. Okay. Y'all, this is a good fall soup.
It's a good fall soup.
Soups too, so this will be on the rotation. Well done, Jade.
Thank you.
Well done. So good. Okay, the next recipe is mine. It's an orzo broccoli chicken casserole. So I saw this on Instagram. I would give credit. I honestly don't remember the girl that I got it from. So maybe I can find it. We can put it in the show notes to give her credit. But she got me because she said, I am making this in 5 minutes with a baby on my hip. She had her baby and she's like, you can literally do like prep it one-handed. Amazing. So I was like, is this going to be good? So we made it because I was like, let's just try it. And my kids loved it. Winston was like, what is this? And I was like, I know, it was so easy. So this is, and we just made it 2 nights ago.
That's a win.
Yep. It is a win. So super easy, super fast, but it's the orzo broccoli casserole. So that's coming next.
Can't wait.
Okay, so Jade, this is, I told you I made this earlier this week, but like on Tuesday nights is our family's like crazy nights of like sports, and we don't get back home until like 7:30. So, and we're split up. So I need something that I can reheat as well for the kids that are coming in later while they're doing their homework and everything. And so this is it. So this is the simple, fast recipe. So all it is in it, it's orzo, it's heavy cream, some chicken broth, a shredded chicken. So you can do a rotisserie chicken, or what I do, you guys, is I put chicken in the crock pot and I do like half a cup of like chicken broth and like a good chunk of butter and some seasonings. And I just let it cook on low for 8 hours and then shred it and use it for the casserole so that it's cooking instead of buying the rotisserie chicken. Salt, pepper, garlic powder, Kinder's buttery steakhouse seasoning. So I actually bought it for the recipe, but it's really good. So it's good seasoning. And then any cheese you have on hand, you can just put on top as well.
Rachel.
You like it?
This pops off. Let me tell you something. You know, on Thanksgiving, everybody makes that broccoli and rice casserole, or at least my family does. It's very labor intensive. This accomplishes that
But
instantly.
So fast,
this is so good.
Oh, the other key ingredient, I missed this, is boars and cheese.
Oh,
So you do that in the center of it, bake it, and then you stir it all together once it's baked. So that does give like a garlic, more like cheesy flavor to it.
I was going to say, because it's very like hearty.
Hearty, yep. And it fills my kids up. And I just will do it with like a side of like dinner rolls or something for them. But this comes out to $3.48 a serving.
Wow.
So again, literally, y'all, when I say it's 5 minutes that you just sit there and just throw everything in and you put it in the oven, I'm like, that's my kind of recipe.
I will keep
feels
this.
healthy. Yes,
Yeah,
it's good.
I'll keep this one.
So good. Okay. Last but not least, I'm kind of sad this is like ending.
I know.
Should we be on the Food Network? Should we have a food show?
We should.
Okay, so this one's intriguing to me.
Okay.
This is, I see a buffalo cauliflower dip. Yes. I love buffalo.
I love this. So technically, this is a New Year's recipe for me. We used to have a lot of people over for New Year's, and this was one of the things, or even Super Bowl. So this is a great one.
Okay.
So it's super easy to make.
And I love a dip. Yes. I love a dip.
All right, so Rachel, this buffalo cauliflower dip, super easy to make. I like it because everybody loves the buffalo flavor. You know, you do the buffalo chicken dip, but if you're trying to save money, going with the cauliflower is the way to go. This is 98 cents.
Oh my
per
gosh.
serving. That's crazy.
I love buffalo stuff.
Yeah, it's really, really good. Give it a taste. I love blue cheese, piquant. What do you think? Let me get in there.
Oh my gosh.
Like, you don't.
That is so good. Jade, that is so good.
Okay.
And spicy. Oh,
It's spicy. You do not miss. Ooh, yeah.
and you don't miss the chicken.
I don't think so.
Cauliflower, it really does. The making that it does substitute it from like a texture standpoint.
Yeah, and you can add more in there. Like, this is one of those recipes you get creative with. If you're like, hey, I want more blue cheese. You could do celery sticks to dip, which I like because it cools it off a little bit. But I love this. It's all the thing, cauliflower is what you need, and then you're coming in, you do reduced fat cream cheese. You could do full fat if you wanted to.
Uh-huh.
And then 2 cups of shredded mozzarella, 1 cup of Frank's Red Hot. And then, of course, you could do Greek yogurt or sour cream. I like to use the plant-based version, as always. And then thin sliced green onions. Top it with blue cheese. If you don't like blue cheese, you can leave it off.
Are you cooking it where? In a crock pot?
I do this on the stovetop. Like just in a cast iron.
Yep.
And then I like to bake it off in a cast iron with the cheese on top.
Yes.
And serve it right out there.
Okay, and Frank's, I've learned my lesson about Frank's. It is the buffalo dip, though, too. The buffalo sauce.
Buffalo sauce, not hot sauce.
I made a recipe that called for the Frank's buffalo. Grabbed the wrong one at the store, and I made it with hot sauce. And we kept being like, this just is like really hot. And I was like, yeah, it doesn't have the buffalo. And I looked, I got the wrong one. So make sure you do the buffalo.
Yeah, buffalo is cut with butter. It's hot sauce and butter, like equal parts. So you need.
I didn't know that.
Butter.
And I feel so healthy. Having cauliflower in it too, you know? Okay, we'll put all of these recipes, you guys, in the show notes. Because they're all going to be staples for me. I mean, these were all so
good. They're really good.
They're delicious. And again, we're working on the idea of you can eat healthy, eat homemade stuff on a budget. It doesn't have to be crazy expensive. And they're all going to be fan favorites, whether it's your kids or you're hosting a party or going to a party. You're able to do it all. And if you are not budgeting with every dollar, you guys, that is where you're going to be able to see that food category and be able to really control it to know, hey, how much do I have left in that category? Because, yeah, people do. The food budget is tough.
Oh, it's so hard.
But this is what you are such a pro at, is showing, and it is true that you can have great meals on a budget.
Amazing meals on a budget. A little intentionality is all it takes.
So great. Okay, Jade, where can everyone find you?
All right, you can find me on Instagram. I'm there at Jade Warshaw. I'm also on Facebook and TikTok if you'd like to find me there.
So great. All right, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and be sure to watch the top 10 things that people waste their money on in the fall, or click the link in the description. All right, you guys, remember to take control of your money and create a life you love. Well, hey, you guys. So today I'm going to talk about breaking the cycle. And when we talk about breaking the cycle, again, that can be for a lot of different things. But when you talk about your money habits, we say, hey, break the cycle of your bad money habits so you can put good money habits in place that's going to help propel you forward to be financially successful, which means that's going to cause your family and your family tree to change because you have broke the cycle of just maybe living paycheck to paycheck or always using credit cards or always using debt, to say, okay, I'm going to do something that is good for myself financially. And because of that, then your kids, your family are going to be the beneficiaries of that. And so, you know, when I talk about this stuff, you may be thinking, oh my gosh, well, you're Dave's daughter. Like, you know, how much do you know about all of this? Because he's the one that really, you know, did it all, right? I hear that kind of stuff all the time, which is true. So we're going to talk about that today. And I want you to stay tuned till later, because I'm going to share my top 3 ways to reverse the toxic money cycle and really change your family tree. So like I said earlier, the disclaimer is, listen, I am fully aware that Dave Ramsey is my dad, okay? I am not shocked. I understand. And I know deep in my heart the advantages that come with that. Like, I know I was with parents growing up that even though they filed bankruptcy the year I was born, they chose a different way of living with money. And because of that, the knowledge and what was shown to me, the example they proved out, was one of really good money habits. And that's a gift as a kid to get that and to literally live in a world where you're like, oh, I never have to use debt because I never will go in that because I'm going to choose not to, and like have that hard line drawn when you're like 10 years old. Like, that's a powerful thing. And then also financially, yes, mom and dad have done very well. And so they've been able to do things like pay for our college and all of that, which again, puts me at a different starting point than some other people. So I fully acknowledge that. But when we talk about this idea of changing your family tree, it is a huge benefit. And some people, I think, do cringe of like, oh my gosh, I just don't want to give my kids everything. And, you know, entitlement and all of that, which can be there for sure. And you want to do this in a really healthy way. But the beautiful part of you doing the hard work today is that you do allow your kids to still have dignity for sure in what they do in their own money habits as they become adults. But maybe they get to start a little further down the road, which is a gift. And that's part of the idea of changing your family tree. So if you're like me, and maybe you're fortunate that the groundwork was laid for you by the people in your life, I don't think that's anything to be ashamed of. And it's really simply a gift that, you know, can be turned around and be paid forward. Because instead of just feeling like, okay, the second generation, which would be me, right? Dave and Sharon and me, and my siblings, instead of us just wasting our money and like doing whatever we want and being trust fund babies, maybe we can actually use the money that we earn to continue to invest for our kids. And then our kids will do the same for their kids. And you keep changing that family tree, which is a really beautiful thing. And no matter if you get a large inheritance when you start out, you also need to protect yourself from certain things that come up in the financial world, like scammers, spammers, and online thieves, which is why I love and I use Delete Me. I recommend Delete Me so much, you guys, because it gives me peace of mind. It finds and removes your personal info, like your home address, your phone number, and more, from hundreds of data broker websites. And again, it protects you from spammers and scammers and online thieves, because when you get the report, you will see, oh my gosh, here's all the websites that my data was on, and they show you by hour how long it took them to remove all that data, and you didn't have to do it because you are part of Delete Me. So make sure to check them out at joindeleteme.com/Rachel for 20% off. That's joindeleteme.com/Rachel. So when it comes to breaking the cycle of debt and bad money habits and really changing your family tree, the first thing I want you to remember is that it's okay to want better for your kids. And this can look a lot of different ways. For some people, they didn't learn, financial habits until later on in life. So if you have older kids and you're just now discovering the baby steps, you're starting to change your family tree, then offer your kids some really good financial principles and talk to them about where you are. Because again, deciding, what you're going to show and tell your kids is up to you. But if you're doing this and you have teenagers in the house or college students or even adult kids, bring them into the conversation and just be like, wow, we are starting to look at money differently. And it's really encouraging when you hear your parents changing and knowing that they're learning and they're growing. It's a really beautiful thing. So if you are doing that, bring your kids into it. Now, also understanding that, everyone grows up with a different level of knowledge when it comes to money. So maybe your parents talked about money all the time. Maybe they didn't. Maybe there was high emotion around money. Maybe there wasn't. But regardless of where you came from, being able to say, hey, the landscape in front of me, I get to change. Now, one easy way to get some of this knowledge and to start looking at, hey, what can I do differently, is with FPU, Financial Peace University. It is one of the best and practical things that you can do when it comes to personal finance, because you're able to get the basics. And again, this could even be a gift. Like if you know someone getting married, or maybe your kid's going off to college, things like that. Getting this knowledge as early as possible is huge. So I will leave a link for you down below. All right, the second thing I want you to remember is, if you're someone who has either given or benefited from financial generosity, own that and continue to do that work with dignity. Luke 12:48 says, to whom much is given, much is required. So if you are someone, maybe like me, and maybe your parents helped pay for college or helped you start invest early, or maybe, again, you started financially with a firm foundation, which is such a gift. You don't have to be ashamed of that, but continue to propel that forward, okay? Be someone that continues the change. Be someone that lives out these principles, and someone that, again, if you have your own family, nuclear family, and your own kids, it's going to help them. And that's going to give them dignity. Again, it's that balance of, hey, I'm going to start you off on the right foot, clear the pathway so you can, as they would say, they walked so I could run. That whole mentality is so beautiful. And then, of course, balance with, they still need to earn a paycheck and go to work, because that's good for them as human beings. But being able to start a few steps ahead, it is a gift. It is a gift. Okay, so now that we've clarified some of that, here are 3 practical tips to break the toxic money cycle that you may be in yourself, for you and future generations. Number 1 is just to get out of debt for good. Like this could be a black and white issue for you. And again, we can be very legalistic here at Ramsey when it comes to debt, because we're basically like, nope, never, ever, ever, except for a mortgage. But other than that, just say no. But what that does is that avoids so much pain and so much of going backwards financially. When you have autonomy over your life and your money, it's a beautiful thing. And when your kids are able to start off with that mindset, it's amazing. Number 2 is to invest consistently. So once you are out of debt and you get a fully funded emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses, then I want you to start investing and building wealth. So 15% of your income can go into retirement, and you're going to start letting your money work for you. So part of building wealth is looking and planning ahead, which is really key, which leads me to number 3, plan for the future. So this is everything from having an emergency fund, having sinking funds, and thinking through, hey, we're going to have to replace a car. So that's going to cost us, $10,000. So we got to save $1,000 for 10 months or whatever it is. So break it up and be able to have cash when it comes to these big purchases. Be thinking about your kids' college. College is not an entitlement. It is a gift. It is a blessing. So if you are in a position that you're able to start saving for your kids' college, that's wonderful. That's part of our Baby Steps plan. If you're not a bad parent. They're okay. We have plenty of resources to show them how they can go to school debt-free. But there is something to be said of, man, you're able to, again, plan for the future as much as you can for the next generation. All right, before we close, I want you to remember one final thing. Listen, millions of people have broken the cycle and changed their family tree. And Dave isn't their dad. So like I say, I'm fully aware he is my dad. There's gifts that come with that. I'm so thankful for sure. But people are doing this today, y'all. They are calling into the Ramsey Show. They are getting themselves out of debt. They are investing. They are building wealth. They are doing all of this, and they're not Dave Ramsey. And that's the powerful thing, is it comes down to your decisions, your habits, and what you want to do. But you can change the game for yourself and your family. So it's a beautiful thing. It's very empowering because, again, there is something about this tactical side of money that you can actually start to see change and see the effect of that change really quickly. Now, if you haven't already, be sure to check out my episode on easy ways to build generational wealth, which is next. Okay, you guys, remember to take control of your money and create a life you love.